Hello there, and welcome to episode 33 of CUZZO-OP. I'm your host for this episode, Willie, and as usual, we've got
Isaiah, what's good, y'all? How we doing today, baby? Episode 33. What's good?
We got episode 33, Q&A 3, and the last Q&A of 2023. So, we kind of feeling the threes here at CUZZO-OP, but today, Q&A 3, we got roughly 30 questions. That's a lot of questions, and I'm really excited to get into them, especially because it's the last Q&A of the year. The rest of our year is planned out and scheduled, so we're ready to go in and finish the year off strong. But I love these episodes. I'm excited to dive into this. So before we dive into this, bro, do you got anything that you think you want to say?
Absolutely. There's a good handful of episode ideas that we snagged from this bunch. I mean, some are just confirmations that we were thinking the right way. Others are fresh ideas. And so we really care about these episodes. They're more than just a show for you. They're a way for us to kind of stir the pot of the community listening. So we'd love for you to continue to share all of what we do here at CUZZO-OP, because the bigger the community, the more fun episodes like these are.
Yeah, absolutely. Please send in whatever you want to hear from us in the future or anything like that. It's always fun to interact with people about CUZZO-OP. But to move forward in this episode, I've taken the liberty to organize these questions in ways that I believe will be nice to hear them in like different categories. So if you're on YouTube, you could go look at the timestamps and see, oh, they start talking about gaming at this mark. Okay, let me go listen to that. I don't want to hear the music, or I don't want to hear the TV shows, Listen to what you want to listen to. It's hopefully it's all a fun time, But I'm gonna start off with music, and our first question is: who is your favorite musical artist, and what is their best song?
There was a time where I could answer that, and I just can't anymore. Like I've grown to, I'll say, the three-headed monster of rap. I listen to a lot of rap and hip hop. Drake, J. Cole, Kendrick. Each of them have a song from them that are iconic to me. But more than the song, it's the way that they each approach music differently, with their own specialties and strategies that I like and I enjoy the music of. Drake always has a hit, but every single one of his lines is super witty. I love music like that. I just think it's smart. It's a smart music type of deal. Cole always knows how to tell a story. He's so good at stories. He takes me on journeys. That's why I love his music. And Kendrick is the best writer alive, in my opinion. There's just nobody who writes the way he writes in the rap genre. I'm walling out, but he has a Pulitzer Prize for a reason, is what I'm trying to say. So all that being said, that would be my three, and I can't say one anymore. I used to, if you asked me this 2 years ago, I probably could say one, but nah, I can't do it right now.
So for me, just based on my Spotify stats alone, King's Kaleidoscope is my favorite band to listen to. And they have a song that is what got me onto them in the first place, really, called The Rush, that Isaiah and Steven actually put me on to when I was chilling at Isaiah's house for a weekend back in 2019. I remember driving, or yes, you were driving, and you were like partying in the car because of this song. And I was like, I might die in this car like this weekend. Like this might be the way, especially when we were going home and you were driving me back to the Bronx. Like I was like, you're going to kill us, because you was clapping, putting your hands up in the air, screaming. And I was like, gosh. But King's Kaleidoscope, The Rush might be my favorite band. And I guess my favorite solo artist in modern terms, I would just say John Bellion. And funny enough, I think my favorite song of his currently is his version of Holy, the famous Justin Bieber song, which he gave Justin the rights to. He performed it live, and I like that rendition of the song. But that'd be my answer. It's like Isaiah said, it's very hard to kind of target in on somebody, especially since my Spotify stats got me saying Queen is in my top 10, Michael Jackson, they're these older artists. So and then besides those two, maybe Kanye West, and it's his old music too. So I don't know about modern music for me. But next question is Pirates on a Boat 1 versus Pirates on a Boat 2. Now we're gonna have to take a second so that Isaiah could listen to these two songs. So I recommend, if you're listening to this and you really want to understand what this question is asking, take a moment to pause, listen to these two songs and then come back. But they're meme songs, just know that. But we'll be right back. And in fact, you're only just going to hear Isaiah's thoughts. So, Isaiah, what are your thoughts on Pirates on a Boat 1 and Pirates on a Boat 2, and which one wins?
Yeah, definitely Pirates on the Boat 2, bro. 100%. That's the answer to my question. When he goes, Pirates on the boat, Pirates on the, Pirates on the boat, Pirates on the boat. That just is mad funny, bro. So good. Also, you could tell his mic got better and his flow got tighter between both songs, too. I think it's a great sequel.
They are both, no doubt, like, really funny songs. I just think Pirates on the Boat 1 is like, it's like a classic. Pirates on a Boat 2, you can tell he was doing a little remix in style with it. So, I mean, why not go with both? But we're going to move into a little transition question that remains in the music realm, but also carries us forward into movies and TV. And that is, would you rather be forced to listen to the same 10 songs for the rest of your life on repeat, or watch the same 5 movies for the rest of your life? And what are those choices?
Dang, bro. 10 songs is like, you want my whole, like, biography, dog. You're wildin'. That's a very hard decision. I think if I was given more time to process that question, I'd feel more confident about one or the other. I'd have to break down a lot. But for the sake of the episode and the time that I have, I'll just go ahead and say 5 movies. Nah, I already take it back. You see, this is what happens with me, bro. All right, I'd say 10 songs. Because right now for me, I kind of only listen to 10 songs. Like for me, music-wise, I'll explore a new project or maybe what's popping on the radio, but I'm actually trying my best to listen to what's new. But what if I'm listening to what I want to listen to, it tends to be like no more than 8 to 10 songs at a time in a season, if that makes sense. So I'd say like off the top of my head, a couple of them would be, I'm listening to a lot of Dominic Fike's most recent album, Sunburn. I'm also still listening to the Spider-Man playlist, the Metro Boomin album. Right now, Teo, which is one of Jaden Smith's best friends, he's actually the actor who plays the Hispanic kid from Kickin' It. He's actually an artist, and he has an album out that mixes a lot of like, it's like Spanish music with like rap and kind of like R&B. It's pretty good. I like it a lot. And then listening to a lot of King's Kaleidoscope. Shout out to Seattle, just came back from their show, so I was in the process of gearing up for them. A couple of those songs stuck with me. I would say all those songs, if I had to freeze in time, it'd be about 10 between those 4, maybe one more from another place, and that'd be my 10. And I'd rock with that going forward, and I'd be okay, as long as I can see whatever movies I want to watch whenever I want to watch them.
See, look, I know for me, it's going to be like, when I first saw the question, I was like, oh yeah, 5 movies, because I love music so much. But then I really thought about it, and I was like, damn, but I can't do that. So if I had to pick the songs for my 10 songs, that'd be kind of difficult. I know that there'd be probably 3 or 4 songs from Queen, maybe 2 or 3 songs from each of these newer King Kaleidoscope albums that bring a different vibe. Michael Jackson, obviously, maybe a Kanye song. And I got to really think about whether or not I'm picking a John Bellion song at all. And if it would be holy. That's kind of tough. But if I were to go the other route and pick the same 5 movies, I'm like, Revenge of the Sith is one. Inside Out is probably another one. Maybe Bohemian Rhapsody. I know that I wouldn't pick Taken.
It's not that type of movie.
I just don't think that
it doesn't have anything for you beyond what it is.
Yeah, exactly. Wow, it's hard to think. Maybe the Batman, to have a fun, really good superhero movie in the mix, and then a classic that Clue. Maybe it might be Clue, or that Back to the Future, but that has sequels. So Clue. You got anything else that you want to add before we move on to movies and TV?
Well, honestly, man, I also want to spin the block. One song that I definitely have right now is Come Back in an Hour by Angelo Moda. Quick shout out to my boy out in JC. I don't know him personally, but he's from Jersey City, so he feels like he's close to me, respectfully. Angelo Moda has the album of the year. It's called I Changed My Mind. If you like rap, if you like bops, if you like something to go crazy to, and if you like some introspective shit, this is your guy. I'm done now.
All right. Well, then, our first technical movies and TV question is, what has been your favorite movie so far in 2023? Now, I think my answer is going to be Oppenheimer. I actually, the day we are recording this, rewatched Across the Spider-Verse earlier today, and I think I finally have like all my opinions on the movie settled in. And I love the first half. If it were the first half of the movie only, it'd be my favorite. But in terms of whole movies, I'm gonna go Oppenheimer, and if not, there's a chance that I might even go with The Flash. But you know, at the end of the year or the beginning of next year, IV and I are going to speak about all the movies that we watched that released in 2023, rank them, talk about them all. You know, so there's time for me to change my answer as well as Isaiah. But what you got for us, bro?
Yeah, but in terms of change, I don't think I'm going to change my opinion on this point. After spinning the block and seeing it a second time in the film, Oppenheimer, bro, is my favorite movie of the year so far. I think Oppenheimer is 3 movies in one, and those 3 movies are all made by my favorite directors. So it's just like, I can't not love it. You know what I mean? Quick one-liner on why. I just think that the exposition of the human nature from a variety of angles is so on display in that movie to a degree that, like, the more you watch, the more you find, and the more you enjoy it. Anybody who saw it the first time and enjoyed it even in a tiny way, when they go see it the second time, go look online. Everyone's second opinion when they see it a second time is it's gotten better. The third time, it's gotten better. And that's a special movie, bro. It's 2023. Last year in 2022, that was what Everything Everywhere All at Once did for me. You know, and so I think I wouldn't be surprised if that boy wins the year, but, you know, we'll see. Second half of the year, you're right.
Yes, sir. Ivy, you got any of these movies and TV questions that you may want to ask? You may want to get that chance.
What are some shows and movies that the masses enjoy that you just don't get with? You just can't ride with?
Mine instantly is Avatar, like the blue people.
Yeah. That's a good one, bro. It's just Pocahontas.
I can't get behind those movies. I've tried, and I just think they're overrated, basic, that visuals are the only thing that they really got going for them. I wanted to turn the second one off halfway through watching it. I just wasn't in it. If I had to pick TV shows, I think I'm definitely going to go Law and Order.
You're bugging out. Me and you aren't friends.
Damn. Well, the reason why I say that is because, like, I prefer, like, Psych, Criminal Minds, like those other shows, The Finder, right? Like the Law and Order. I don't know. None of the characters were connecting with me. I couldn't get into it like that.
At some point, I might have said Star Wars at some point, bro. There was probably some point where I just didn't understand why the masses flocked to those movies, especially when those movies first came out. Like, I enjoyed them for what they were in the moment of cinema, but true appreciation for the story of Star Wars didn't start to come for me until like the last year.
Wow, that's kind of funny, y'all. Ain't it funny how when I bring up Law and Order and he gets in his, he gets in his bag, he gonna bring out Star Wars? That's crazy.
I really feel like you made me think about myself and if I have something that's like that, even when it comes to us two not agreeing with one another. And I think there was a time, another thing is these Assassin's Creed games. I'll double up. I'll hit you with the double tap. That's not a show or a movie, but it's still in our 3 entertainment mediums here at CUZZO-OP. I would say Assassin's Creed, where it's been for the last 2-3 games, are freaking trash.
Shit, if we digging into each other's bag, like I could never get behind Witcher.
Yeah, you're bugging out. I don't really have anything to say to you. Also, I'll be honest, From Software games, like, I understand why Elden Ring won Game of the Year, but I think that it didn't win over God of War, in my opinion. Like, I don't understand why the masses are so swooned by this game, me personally.
Well, for me, I think it really is, like, I've just realized that Bethesda, CD Projekt Red, From Software, or whatever they're called, like, none of their games I've been able to get into, and I noticed that they're all on a bigger scale, a grander scale, and it's kind of weird for me. I need to, like, I've tried to do it. I'll try Cyberpunk, but yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, maybe you just like smaller, more hand-cut stories. That makes sense.
Maybe that can be it. I can keep trying. The farthest that I've got from any of those games is Fallout 4. But yeah, whatever. To move on, since you brought up Star Wars, we got a question here that said, if you could choose one Star Wars show to be created, what would it be about? And I think for me, I'm gonna go with I got like two answers. We got a Jar Jar Binks Logan style show, 3 episodes long, where he gets to deal with his ramifications of giving Palpatine the power to run the galaxy and knowing that it turned out to become the Empire and all that. Somewhat of like a redemption story for the character of Jar Jar Binks, where he can maybe rise again with the rebellion and do something there. I don't know. Just I want to give Ahmed Best a role and just surprise people somehow with the character of Jar Jar Binks. Because I think Ahmed deserves it. And then if I had to pick another choice, it might be like a Rey movie or a Rey TV show, like the question asked, following her journey to get her yellow kyber crystal. I don't know if that could be like a Tales of the Jedi episode or something, but I would just love to see what stories you can tell, because we know that Star Wars does these jumps sometimes. And I think it'd be cool if there was an entire story that took place from the final moments of Rise of Skywalker before she has her new lightsaber and the after of that. So that would be fun to do. And then besides all of that, if I was doing something completely brand new, it would be like a detective show, but in Star Wars, following a PI who's traveling across the galaxy, solving different crimes and stuff. And you never know what you may be able to run into in the Star Wars universe that way.
That would be very sick. I like that PI episode. Show. That sounds really good. I think for me, I would want a Star Killer show, bro. I need a Star Wars: The Force Unleashed 1 and 2. Vader's bastard child to pop up, and I would love to make a show, maybe 6 to 8 episodes long on some Ahsoka type timing that makes him canon.
I mean, I think it would be cool. I just don't know if there's any way to bring him into canon without upsetting people at this point. I think Dave Filoni had it the closest when he was thinking about bringing him in as an Inquisitor for Star Wars Rebels. But yeah, I don't know if they would do that. But, just to keep Star Wars flowing for just a moment, the next question is, what is your favorite moment from the entire Star Wars saga? Now, I'm going to dive into Rebels here real quick and say that Obi-Wan versus Maul from Twin Suns is probably my answer. And if not, it will be the Battle of the Heroes. I think those are just moments of great build-up and a lot of emotion and relationship, just complexity that are in both of those moments. It's one of those easily. Do you know yours?
It's Kanan Jarrus from season 3 of Rebels.
Like Bendu season 3?
Yeah, him with the Bendu, when he teaches him to see, and he tells him after he's, spoilers, blinded about this way to see, and tells him that something can't be innately good or bad, and that you can do good things and search for good things and end up doing something evil. And that concept that he introduces to him, it completely shatters all of Kanan Jarrus, Jedi Knight's framework. His whole mental framework is just in a cobra clutch. The Bendu's like, I'm right here, baby. I'm with you. And it's just really good, bro. I enjoyed it very much.
It's W. Kanan always, bro.
W. Kanan, bro, he came out on the other end of that. And I love moments like that from shows, right? Like, I love the moment when Zuko and Aang, they go and they have to see eye to eye in the Two Dragons episode. I love moments like that where there's this turning point, and then from this point forward, the character is never the same. That's what the Bendu did in that scene, and that's why I like it so much.
All right. Well, our next question is, are you guys going to talk about Oppenheimer? Interesting. You want to take this?
Did you miss it? We did a Barbenheimer pack where we talked about Oppenheimer and Barbie on the same Thursday. I think it was about 2 weeks ago. So you're definitely going to want to go back, find that episode, and jump on in. We did about an hour, and it was after we had done our Christopher Nolan episode where we talked about all of his movies. So there's lots of content in there. Be sure to take a listen.
Yeah, please go back and listen. It was very fun to talk about Oppenheimer, especially as both of our movies of the year. But Up next, I feel like this is going to be another good transition question as we can apply this next one to both movies and TV as well as video games. Who is your favorite voice actor and what is their best role?
I would say Troy Baker, bro. I mean, I know that that's like, they say when you're an athlete and you play too many games, sometimes when you play, it gets boring. And I just feel like Troy plays a lot, and yet he still has more of the impressionable characters on me. I'm talking from Second Son, infamous Second Son, to obviously his involvement as Sam Drake. I think that he killed that role. I think he almost overshadowed Nathan Drake. Respectfully, he's crazy. And then he's also just every single game that you play, he's probably involved in some way, shape, or form. Just like him a lot. But that's my stereotypical answer. Like, that's my answer for the gaming industry. Right now, someone I'm very fond of in gaming is, I know this is really wild, me saying this, but Idris Elba and him coming into a video game, I hope this begins something. Because off of one video already, a couple clips from the game, what he's about to do in Cyberpunk, I have a feeling it's going to take us up. I feel like he's going to outstage my man Johnny Silverhand, Keanu, and he's going to be gritty. And then people are going to want to start putting him in more video games, bro. And I'm trying to see something OG, original, fresh IP with my boy Idris in it. And I might be wrong. I don't know if he's been in another video game previously. But if you haven't seen that trailer, that new Cyberpunk 2077 Phantom Liberty, you have to watch the trailer that just came out. It's 3 minutes. He's so good.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm really big on movie stars entering the video game realm because I like our video game actors being popular for that. I don't want them to be replaced. But for Troy, you think your favorite role for him is Sam Drake?
Yeah, I know people love Joel, right? And I respect that love. But for me, as much as that role took a lot from him to play, which I respect, seeing him go back to back with Nolan, I like that more. I just enjoyed that way more. Like knowing their buddies off cam and out the mocap suit, and then seeing their friendship and their brotherhood on screen. It's just really good. I like Sam a lot.
I can respect it, bro. For me, I think it is definitely Troy Baker as Joel. I mean, like you said, that role took a lot from him, and I think he put himself in a space where he just went all in, and he's made that character unforgettable. Roger Clark for Arthur Morgan is also a very underrated pick, even though he won a Game of the Year award for it, right? My boy Ezio, Roger Craig Smith, he was great in his role there too. I love that. But that Troy Baker, he's always going to be there, even if sometimes he might be overused. For like television shows and stuff, Matt Mercer is someone that I'd be getting to appreciate more. Listening to him as Captain Levi in the Attack on Titan dub, he just brings something to the role that, as I'm going through the Attack on Titan sub, I'm missing a lot. As well as J. Michael Tatum as Commander Irving. He is someone that he's got a voice on him, and if his character didn't have his voice, I don't know if I would like him as much. But yeah, I think those would probably be my answers for this question, which is a hard question. I'd have to really sit down and think about all the voice actors, like going deeper, Travis Willingham, Ashley Burch, Ashley Johnson, Dave Fenoy. Like, there's so many out there. Nolan North. Like, it's hard.
I think another person that we also missed was John DiMaggio, bro. Come on, bro. Marcus Phoenix himself. He's also been some pretty cool, we know Jake the dog, but like there are other little tiny characters he played that I don't think people even know are him. So definitely keep your eye out for him if you're looking for games to play that he's in. Look him up. All right, bro. What's the next question? What you got for me?
Do you believe that it is a good idea that all of these other companies are implementing a battle pass system into their video games? Or do you think it has only really worked with Fortnite? I think that it's only really worked with Fortnite. I think that some of these games that are trying to implement them have no business doing so. You think about what Fortnite is and how it's been a free to play game going on 6 years that keeps getting new updates and everything. That makes it work. And they don't just put bullshit in their uh, things like in their battle passes. They put things that people use, you know. Um, Call of Duty implementing a battle pass. It's weird, especially when you consider old Call of Duties would give stuff out for free. 2K having a battle pass is fucking stupid. You know, just because they sell a new 2K to you every year. So they're not updating their game yearly. If they were, I'd see different maybe, but it's gross. I honestly believe that the only time I've ever seen a battle pass that I was like, yeah, that's it. All right, that's good, is in Fortnite. And something that is also worth speaking about is that, you know, it never feels cheap because you can always buy the next battle pass with the money that they give back to you in the current one. And it doesn't feel like a hassle to finish the battle pass at all. Like, I've heard people say that the new 2K's battle pass feels like a hassle to finish, where Fortnite, you know, you just got to play the game. It's a great incentive to play the game. And, you know, people always complain at the start of a new season, oh, getting to 100 feels impossible. It's like, well, sometimes you need to consider that maybe you're not meant to get to tier 100 in 2 weeks. Maybe you're meant to get there over the 3-month period that the season is. So my answer to this, very long, but to put it simple, Fortnite has done it the best, and I wish we would see less of it in video games. How about you?
I mean, I'm team. I don't even like microtransactions. Period. You know what I mean? Like the next guy. But I just feel like you're right. Fortnite's the only one that's knocked out the park. Everybody else has had their focus or their means to an end be money, bro. Dudes just want to catch a bag straight up. There's no almost heart behind a lot of these battle passes. But another thing that's an issue for me is I think battle passes have become a reason. I know this might sound wild, but has become a reason a lot of studios get lazy in their character customization options. And you know, not every game needs to be a lifestyle game, and I understand that. But I just think there are some ideas where you're making me play an additional 10 to 15 hours worth of time to grind enough points in my battle pass to just get a different color of the same skin. And I think that's kind of heinous that I'll fall into that trap. So that's why I don't like battle passes, bro. I understand microtransactions, people got to make money, but I do miss the days when I would log into a Call of Duty and I wouldn't be hit in the face with a bunch of microtransactions. I would just be shown, hey, you get to level 60, and by level 60, you are unlocked at 45 this gun, 35 that gun, 32 this skin for shooting as many people in the head with that gun you earned at level 16. And I loved that. That was my favorite. That felt like mini challenges within the game that make reasons to come back to the game without me having to spend more money to get that stuff. I just needed to spend more time. I'm always down to spend more time. When you give me a need to spend money too, I hate that stuff, bro.
All right. Well, the next question is, who are your top 5 favorite Telltale game characters? Now, CUZZO-OP will be doing a Telltale game episode right before the Wolf Among Us Season 2 releases. But we are going to answer your question now, and you can look forward to the in-depth nature of it, kind of, when the Wolf Among Us 2 is about to release. So, who are your top 5 characters, bro?
We're going to do 3. And I'd say that my 3, one of them is definitely, and this is in no specific order. I like Marty McFly. There's something about Marty McFly for me, bro, where it's like, though the movies I know are legendary, I never connected with the movies the way that I feel like there's a cult following for, and I respect it. I'm not saying it's not a good movie; it's legendary. I mean, you hear everyone knows you're about to say Lorian, like we all know, you know, it's like a classic. But the way that Telltale's did it, and the way that Marty McFly is depicted, I just felt like it was very cartoony, very connect. It just made me feel like I was in the 90s watching something. And so I very much enjoy the way that they did that. And I like the mystery and stuff that they go through in that game. But
wow, that Marty McFly, that's definitely a sleeper pick, bro, because I bet you money that there are people out there that don't even know that Telltale made a Back to the Future game. So I'll give you the W on that one.
Another one for me would be Handsome Jack, bro. Handsome Jack, bro. And I'm biased.
Wait, so you're gonna go with another character that's not Telltale original? That's licensed from another company?
Well, guess what? I like Handsome Jack, but I was gonna say that I only want to take one character from Telltale, Tales of the Borderland. So I would say Reese. I actually very much enjoy Reese. And I enjoy Reese because of Handsome Jack on that cyberpunk Keanu Reeves kind of concept. And so therefore you was on my Jack. You was on my Jack. Reese is a character they created just like they created those Walking Dead characters. So let me slide.
Listen, bro, I'll let you slide, but I'm pretty sure that you was going for Handsome Jack, bro. I'm not believing you on that one, but you know what? We gonna let it slide, bro. Who's your third character, bro?
It's Big B, baby. What are we talking about right now, dog? What are we doing? And that's probably number one. He's probably my number one. I like the way they take the dichotomy of man, fable. You're laughing because it's another adaptation, aren't you? Stop laughing at me, bro. For those who don't know, y'all ain't seeing our faces, but we see each other's faces when we're talking, and he's just laughing at me. And I knew he was laughing because it's... But listen, bro, it's Telltale's ability to tell a story through any type of character, whether it's their original or an adaptation, bro.
Bro, listen, I get you, man. I think if you have the ability to take someone who's recognizable in another form of media that they originated in and make them their own special, unique character that is still recognizable, I think that's great. Two of my characters on my list follow that exact idea, but I'm giving 5. So, it's all right. It's a little bit better than shooting 2.5. First, I'm going to go Clementine. Clementine is number 1. And it's just her character arc from The Walking Dead season 1 to The Walking Dead season 4, which I just finished. So it's been an 11-year long journey for me versus some other people only had 7 years. But I'm gonna break her down a lot during our Telltale episode. But I just seeing her from point A to point B is great, and it was all wonderful. Now, number 2, I'm gonna say is John Doe from the Batman franchise. And that's all I'm going to say about John. If you don't know John, play Batman Telltale series and Batman the Enemy Within. Great character. Great example of how you take an iconic character and you format him to be unique yet recognizable. Fantastic shit. And then number 3, Big B Wolf. I'm excited to break him down as we do our Telltale episode right before the release of season 2. Number 4, I'm going to go AJ from The Walking Dead, the final season. He was very interesting to watch and take care of the way you once took care of Clementine as Lee, but he was different than Clem because the world around him formed who he was straight off rip from birth. And the way your choices not only impacted your life, but his life was crazy. And then number 5, I think I'm going to go with Kenny from The Walking Dead. He was the one that made me cry. Lee's whole thing, that was very emotional, but it didn't make me cry or it didn't make me like pause. Kenny's story, his made me pause. But Lee might be able to take his spot too. Another question here is, what is your favorite video game soundtrack / themes? Now, I'm going to go first. I'm just going to, hit the Walking Dead main menu music is a classic, just to keep in line with our last question. The Last of Us main theme, both 1 and 2 are glorious. They've actually both been my ringtone at some point. With The Last of Us Part 1 just being my ringtone for almost 5 years. And then I finally have changed it. Assassin's Creed 2 is beautiful. God of War is really good. Like, it's hard. Uncharted has some great hits. Basically, if you're Naughty Dog, you got them great soundtracks. And Assassin's Creed as a franchise got some good ones too. But The Last of Us main theme, I mean, it was my ringtone for a reason, right? Like, yeah, that's it's hard to explain past that. How about you?
Favorite video game of all time, Witcher 3. I think the music of that game, even the flute that plays when you're on the pause menu and you're just going through building your character, there's this invitation to the world, this folk medieval type vibe that all of the songs have. Cutscenes are sick too, and the big cinematic stuff, but it's almost the music of the world that I like. So that's the reason why I would say that soundtrack is more memorable for me. There's always great scores and great, background music and all that stuff. But for this game, that being so crucial in building the world, that's why the story games stand out.
Well, you know what? Let's move on to the next question, bro. The next question is, since it's been a few years now, what are your thoughts on next gen consoles and how they've been utilized so far? So, for me, I think that COVID had a huge impact on next gen systems, obviously. Like, they dropped in 2020, right at the height of COVID. And so a lot of the games I imagine that were being created for these systems were hurt in the development process. So I think that the PS5 and the Xbox Series S or X or whatever it's called over there have had a worse start than the PS4, Xbox One era. In the first 3 years of those consoles, I think they were a lot more games out and a lot better games out than what we've got so far in new gen. Based on what's being like made only for new gen. However, we're starting to see this transition that developers are finally letting these old generations go. Jedi Survivor, Spider-Man 2, they're being made only for these new systems. So I think that we're only beginning the next gen, unfortunately. Which I hope that this generation has a longer life than the last generation because of all these developments. So that's my feeling.
Yeah, man, I think I agree. I mean, I remember getting the PlayStation 4 day one back in 2013. And I remember playing it and waiting for about 6 to 8 months before games actually came out that were worth playing. And then from then onward, it was just up. There never felt like a lag, a gap, a space, a question. Is this next gen console being used well? And PS5 and Xbox Series X and S, that question is littered. It's littered throughout the internet for everything going on. So I saw a comment today on Cyberpunk with them releasing Phantom Liberty. And somebody said that this game never should have came out on PlayStation 4. It should have just been on PS5. It should have been on next gen consoles. And I agree. I don't even have to play it yet. I think what held it back was them being split to try to create a port that was stable across all these different consoles. Them being able to focus would do so much. I just feel like there's a lot of stories like that. As much as COVID hit, COVID led to pressures that then studios made their teams split focus to hold on to both consoles. But when you look at the developers, the publishers that took the chance to start releasing PS5 exclusive stuff, it was worth it. And I think, or when you looked at the publishers and developers that were willing to take the chance to put out next gen exclusive stuff, I think it made a difference. There's an impression here, and these are the games that, in my opinion, are going to be long lasting. And so it's interesting now. You're right. As we enter into a time where there's just next gen games coming out, that's different, bro.
Something that I'm also interested to see in the future of consoles is whether or not next gen consoles are going to be needed so quickly. And if we're going to recognize the crazy differences between them because of the fact that technology is getting better. Like, hopefully we get to the point where these games and these technologies that are in these consoles are so good that it's like, we can go 15 years without needing a new console, Just take care of the one you've got right now and you're good. Like, as technology gets better, how can they improve these things in a way that, like, justifies you making a new console after 5 years, 10 years, I'm just interested to see how that goes.
All right. Another question that we got here is, if you were reborn into a video game, what class would you choose realistically that best fits your personality?
I mean, I guess I'd have to go like support class because when I'm playing team games, I'm always like, how does my experience and my play style best support the team? I'm not the teammate that goes and runs into a fight and before telling anybody and then gets wiped or, wipes another team. I'm the guy that goes with the team. I'm like, yo, you need backup? I got your back. I got heals for you. I got the ammo for you. I'll revive you, reboot you, whatever. So I guess support. And proudly, I know people give support a bad name, but like, I'm playing games because I want to work as a team and I want to have fun as a team. So that's mine. And if not, then I don't know what you'd call like a kamikaze, but like I could also easily be that guy to do the reckless stuff. Like if y'all want me to be the reckless guy and run in and blow everybody up or like damage as many people as I can, I'll do it. So I'll go with one of those. I think that, and the support class is very in line with me wanting to be like a MFT in my future. I feel like it fits me very well. I'm here for everybody. What about you?
If we talking about general, yeah, I would say healer class is what I tend to choose. For the same reasons, bro. I appreciate that stuff, but I also like to be characters that can stretch out and show they can do things on their own, but also support at the same time. Like I like that balance. But to answer the D&D side of the question, it's a monk, bro. It's a monk. And when it comes down to the background, I'm always choosing the folk hero, the town hero, the kid who grows up to save everybody. I like that kind of a class in games. And I think it's because it's filled with a lot of nuance and a lot of hard decisions for that person to make. And those are the best types of characters, in my opinion. So I would choose that class just for the ride, for the story. You know what I mean?
Damn, if we talking D&D, I'm gonna need that ranger, that archer, arrow to the face. But up next, we've got, what is your favorite Call of Duty campaign?
Black Ops, easy. Did you see those numbers? Did you know that he was going to actually be Shutter Island fight clubbing himself? Come on, son.
I think my answer is Black Ops 1 and 2 together. They are extremely solid. I prefer those two games as a duology over the entire original Modern Warfare trilogy. However, Modern Warfare 2019 was a huge favorite of mine when it came to the campaign. I need to play the second one. I'll be there to play the third one. And if this trilogy goes hard, it might overtake the Black Ops duology for me. But for now, Black Ops 1 and 2 together. But up next, I want to move forward into our entertainment extras section. And first question for this section is, what wishes would you make from Shenron, the dragon from Dragon Ball Z?
If I had one wish, I would wish that I would never have debt ever again. Like, I never have to pay debts. However he resolves that with his all, wild dragon power, that's cool. But, like, no debt ever. No bills to pay ever. Like, imagine just going out and you have to pay, but your bill never comes. You're just free to go. Like, that would be so hard.
Because it's only fun if you're selfish with it. I think my answer, it would have to be that my curls, my curly hair, and my beard be on point forever. My beard is still kind of coming in, and I'm hoping that it fills in certain spots. And my hair sometimes pisses me off, but I think that's it. I think that's it for me. As funny as it sounds.
Facts. That's the one. That's the one forever. Yeah. Never mind. Take mine back. That's it.
All right. Well, keeping in line with Dragon Ball, we're gonna move forward with a fuck, marry, and kill. That's it's a tradition here at CUZZO-OP. We've got Goku, Vegeta, and Broly as our options.
I would say F Broly. F Vegeta, kill Broly, and marry Goku.
I know for a fact for me that my kill is Goku. So Vegeta's been a good husband of Bulma for somewhat, define good. Better than Goku. He'll be my husband, killing Goku. So the last spot goes to Broly. But I'm perfectly fine switching Broly and Vegeta for whatever. Just Goku is always dead. But up next, we've got, do you think that the Marvel multiverse concept has been hard to keep up with? I don't think it's been hard. Not necessarily, at least. I just think it's not well done at all. Endgame got something different than Loki. Loki got something different than Spider-Man. And Spider-Man got something different than Doctor Strange. And It's, in my opinion, they're just doing too much. There is no uh right way that they're doing it, or clear way. Um which is why I'm just kind of like, whatever, it's there. And I think that's what they want us to do. I think they want us to just say, like, it's multiverse. You could do whatever. You can do portals. You can do this. You can do that. But even the stakes of it all, I'm not a fan of. And I haven't been a fan of it ever since Loki introduced the concept of the TVA, and that it's all a fixed timeline, and that, there is no quotation freedom or anything like that. And shit, if I'm saying this incorrectly, maybe it does mean that it's hard to keep up with. I just think it's overly complex. I honestly hate it. Um, and I'm just interested to see how this all pans out. Right? Especially now Ant-Man's diving into it. So we're gonna see, man. We're gonna see. We got Loki season 2 coming up in a few weeks. But yeah, I'm not a fan. I don't think it's hard, but I do hate it.
Yeah, I agree. Especially with Secret Wars and them saying that they're bringing back Raimi to do the Avenger. It's like, nah, that sounds like trash. Me personally, respectfully, I think it's confusing. Only thing I think it has going for it is that obviously the comics are the holy grail that is being, and there's an adaptation being taken from to make these movies. But the comics themselves also have a variety of depictions of this multiverse concept. And so it's much cleaner because they have so much more room to tell story, but there are certain pieces that are jagged in comparison to other stories from other heroes and their interactions with the multiverse. And so as a result, I think because they're elevating it to the movie screen and they delivered phase 1 through 3, even 4, in a way that was very direct and it felt like a puzzle coming together before your eyes, they get to this point where now they're capped out and it's like, what do we do? Well, the reality is multiverse is a set of puzzles, a number of puzzles being put together in their own ways. And so it's like you have to be willing to figure out what they're going to do and ride out with it and let go of what was to accept what is, because the reality is once a multiverse like that is put on the big screen and you see these characters come to the conclusion of their story, if this business is going to continue to flow, they have to go find new stories. And the reality is comics get very cosmic. They get very abstract. They go to a lot of places. Now, am I saying they're doing it well? No. Could they do it better? Yes. But the reality is, I think even if they did do it well, multiverse would still be something people complain about. I think Loki's an incredible show. People can't get over the, why isn't, will the Avengers and Tony create time travel? And it's like, yo, bro, we're not talking about that right now, bro. We're talking about how Loki is actually low-key like an anti-hero. That's what we're talking about. Can you stop?
I don't know. I don't know about that one. I think that, yeah, Loki's story in its individuality can be free from that, but when you look at the universe and the way it's all connected and you think about the ramifications that the show had on the entire phase 1 through 3, just storytelling and decisions of those characters, I would understand if someone felt that it was cheapened by that. But overall, multiverse of the Marvel universe is what's at hand here, and I don't think it's being handled well at all.
I have a question here that says, who is your favorite Spider-Man?
Huh. I mean, that's an interesting question. I would have to go, like, if I'm talking in general Spider-Man, it would probably be like Yuri Lowenthal's Spider-Man from the PlayStation 4 franchise, the Sony franchise on PlayStation. But if I'm talking the big three Peter Parkers from the movies, I'm gonna go Tom Holland. I think there's just, whether or not you like the stories that were told, I love the energy that he brings to the character. There's a great middle ground. I love the moments where he's put in serious positions, and then I love the moments where he's put in the funny decisions and situations. Yeah, that I think that'd be my answer. How about you?
Miles Morales.
Oh, well, if that's what the question was asking, then Peter Parker, PlayStation 4, just that guy.
All right. Another question that we've got is, what pieces of media, games, shows, movies were formative in the way you started to view the world/life? Was there media that changed these views?
Wow, that's a hard question. I'm not gonna lie.
It is. And I think we answer this question all the time, right? We don't know how to depict or experience the pieces of entertainment we go through here at CUZZO-OP without our stories. If you don't believe us, the Love episode from maybe about 2 months ago, definitely one of those ones to check out. Perfect example of that. I'll answer first, bro. For me, I think anything Rockstar Games has made in the Western world, like Red Dead 2, any stories that have come from Telltale, anything we talked about tonight, I'm glad we brought them up because they're a great answer to this question. And then a number of like superhero type of games, I think in the gaming world have all been very formative. And then of course, whatever Naughty Dog's done, like I so much relate to Nathan Drake in the 4th edition of Uncharted, but everyone does. They just wrote them so damn well, you know? I think that's where gaming I come from. Shows, I like Psych, man. I like Sean Spencer and his goofiness. He almost is like someone who helped me to see the world in a different lens, in a comedic lens, just owning who you are as a weirdo. That stuff was really like important. And then also friendship wise, I think I started to set standards for what I want friendship to look like because I watched that show. It definitely shaped something in me. Movies, bro, come on, like Inception. The Prestige, bro. Toy Story 3. What is a friend, bro? What is relationship? Like my favorites, they're only my favorites because of how formative they are. I actually would put that down. If it's in my favorite, that just shows how formative it was for me. Do you agree with that, Willie?
I mean, for me, I know that all of my favorites definitely aren't the ones that are formative in some senses. But like video games, I'm thinking The Walking Dead, I'm thinking The Last of Us, I'm thinking Gears of War into some degree. Those are some heavy hitters. Uncharted 4, obviously, like how could I not say that? Batman franchise, the Arkham franchise, like those are some heavy hitters for me, absolutely. In the gaming realm, and even recently with God of War Ragnarok, I think that changed some of my views on the world and grief and love and all of that. I mean, we spoke a little bit about that in both the God of War episode and our love episode. For television shows, you know, This Is Us is a great show that did a lot, and it might do a lot on a rewatch. I'm not gonna lie. I think I need to go back and do a rewatch of that one. And then Psych, obviously, come on now. Movies, Inside Out was one that hit me hard recently. That did a lot of changes. And growing up, movies, I don't know. I mean, Star Wars, obviously. But it's hard to think of some movies that may have done some formation inside of me and changed the way that I saw the world. But I'm expanding my movie like itinerary and history every day this year. So I could have an answer by the end of this year that changes that. But Inside Out was one this year that really said boom, you know. For television shows, Avatar: The Last Airbender. Also, I think that might be the best one. Not gonna lie.
Oh, absolutely. Star Wars Rebels. Star Wars Rebels was extremely, extremely formative for me in the last month and a half.
I am glad that you finally got around to watching it, then, bro. I love hearing that, y'all. Go listen to the Rebels episode from like 2 weeks ago. You know.
Or I forgot Suits. Also, Suits is big formative. Anything off of USA, Graceland, Suits, White Collar, anything with those characters, they really are welcome. Therefore, I always felt welcome watching those shows, and they would rip me apart.
All right. Well, another question that we've got here is, what is your favorite on-screen sibling dynamic, both blood and unrelated?
We already talked about it. I really love Nathan and Sam Drake. I really think that sibling story is a real one, a very real one. Another one I like is the two brothers from Last of Us.
I'm guessing that you're talking about Sam and Henry.
Yeah, I like Sam and Henry because I think it's just very relatable, and then the relatability sets you up to have heartbreak from that part of the story. So I really like that. But like I said, Sam and Nathan, because it's just like, come on, bro, they're so cool. I just love it.
Yeah, bro, that's fair. I think This Is Us does siblings very well. Video game wise, I mean, that 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 Tommy and Joel, the brothers that, in my opinion, resemble like the brothers that fight because of disagreements that they have with one another, and they may not want to speak to each other, but if something happens to one another, they're going to be there, ride or die. It reminds me of just like very realistic sibling relationships sometimes. That's just the reality some siblings live. It's unfortunate, but it's true, and it's not rare either. So that's one. Marcus and Dom, unrelated brothers from Gears of War. I love that. And then, maybe Anakin and Ahsoka. I love the older brother, younger sister relationship that they've got there. It's a great one.
Sure.
All right. Well, now I think it's time to move forward to some extra questions, some personal, silly questions that may not entirely relate to media. I'm just going with the first one. What is your go-to McDonald's order?
2 cheeseburgers with bacon, no mustard, because down here in Texas, they put mustard on your burgers, which is crazy. I'm from the Northeast. Y'all are wild. Large French fry, no salt. The reason why you say no salt is because they have to cook them fresh. Then when they come to the window with the fries, I say, can I have salt? And I used to get a Sprite, but these days I get a water, bro. Ever since they brought those Coke Freestyle machines, every soda tastes like cheap soda. I don't know if you respect that or not, but so that's my order.
I mean, I get the soda one. I haven't gotten soda in a long time from McDonald's, unless it was part of like a mobile order deal. Which, if you don't got the mobile order apps, you got to get them. They're the best way to order food nowadays, honestly. If you're going to the location, at least. My go-to McDonald's order is a 10-piece nugget meal with a large fry and vanilla shake with a cheeseburger on the side. I feel like that's great. It's glorious. I used to have a hack like you, but McDonald's kind of fixed it. But it would help out with like $1 less. But to keep the food questions, flowing, if you could only eat 3 meals for the rest of your life, what are they? For me, I'm gonna go chicken and broccoli with white rice from the Chinese food takeouts that we got in New York City, because they don't taste the same everywhere, especially in Jersey. They taste like dog shit. From where I've had it, which is like 4 locations. I know this is a terrible meal, but my God, do I love macaroni and cheese and Spam all mixed in together. I know it's bad. It's forever love, though. And then my third meal, you could either give me like a bacon, egg, and cheese for some breakfast vibes or some chicken wings. But if I want the breakfast vibes, I'm going to get that bacon, egg, and cheese with ketchup and mayonnaise on it, How about you, bro?
My breakfast sandwich would be bacon, egg, and cheese on a plain bagel, salt, pepper, ketchup, hot sauce, plain bagel, not toasted. And honestly, bro, if I really am feeling frisky, I have to add another one. Plain bagel, bacon, egg, and peanut butter. We call it the Weekender. Shout out Sarah Sampson.
Well, Tyson, a listener of ours, sent this question in, and he's from Australia for context. And he says that we Americans put peanut butter on everything and that it's disgusting and too much. And, I disagree with him mostly on that point. But after hearing your sandwich right there, I don't know about that one, bro.
Well, guess what, Tyson? Your name sounds like you're from Australia. Respect. I'm glad you sent questions in. And we do put peanut butter on everything. It's just how it is. Outside, baby. Peanut butter on my bacon, egg, no cheese, you're wilding out. Only sociopaths do that. Bacon, egg on a plain bagel goes crazy, the Weekender. For lunch food, yeah, bro, I'm going to have to just, my mom's rice and beans, bro. I went over to my house and I gained like 10 pounds just eating like 3-4 dishes. I went to my parents' house and I was just dogging leftovers. Nothing beats it. That's just how it is. And then last but not least, my grandma, she makes this spaghetti sauce, but she makes it like a Puerto Rican woman. And so it's very flavorful, and she puts the noodles in it, and then the noodles have a little sauce, and then she puts the sauce on top. She's got a whole strategy to it. It's crazy. Bro, it's unbeaten. The only thing that has somewhat rivaled it is my wife makes a play on a dish like that, but she uses Italian sausage, and she does it in a different type of way where it doesn't have like a red sauce. It's more oily, like an oil-based. It's so good. But I just grew up eating grandma's pasta. You can't tell me grandma's pasta ain't respected, bro. You know grandma's pasta goes crazy. She be putting her whole elbow in that, bro.
Yeah, I no doubt about that one. But the next question is, if you could live anywhere in the world, where would it be?
I haven't gone to enough places in the world to answer this question. I know I'm picking up your questions and I'm not answering them like a simple person. I'm sorry, guys. It's just how I am. But my hope would be to live somewhere like, for a time, I definitely would want to live in like Oregon. Like I would want to live kind of like Northwest. I want definitely some sort of like a home base up there where it's a lot like, I don't want to say quieter, but there's a different type of stillness in that area. But I haven't been to enough places to say this confidently. So that's all I know. I want to make my way there at some point.
I could see that answer, bro. Listen, ever since I played Life is Strange True Colors, which, by the way, for the soundtrack question from earlier, and it comes to video games, all of the Life is Strange games are amazing, like beautiful soundtracks. I just think if I would listen to them on the daily, I'd be like heartbroken. But ever since playing Life is Strange True Colors, I'm trying to go find myself a small town somewhere. The game takes place in Colorado, so maybe I got to go to Colorado to find that like small town area. But my problem is I also love cities. I mean, New York City. I can't imagine like going to sleep without the bus stop on the corner, or the Spanish music that's playing from the park every day. Like I don't know if I can imagine that. So I need to find some like small town that's maybe 20, 30 minutes away from a city. I don't know how that would happen, but that's kind of my vibe that I want to maybe go for. We'll see what happens though. But yeah, that True Colors got me feeling some type of way about like Colorado, which I don't know about that one. But we gonna go on to the next question here. And it's, what is your go-to insult? Now, this is an interesting question because it's asking us to like expose what we would be calling people when we're upset or something. I guess mine might be like jackass. I feel like I say that sometimes. But yeah, maybe if I had to pick an insult, I mean, it's kind of hard to just pick without being in the moment. Bozo is one that I love though. Like, you're a freaking bozo.
I don't know, bro. It all depends on how I'm feeling and the type of person I'm talking to, because my insult is going to be appropriate. You know what I mean? I'm not going to just randomly use the same insult all the time. You know what I mean? So stick around. You'll hear us talk to some people out in the media world. You hear a couple. You've definitely heard dummy. They definitely heard dummy.
They've definitely heard dummy, bro. Like, no doubt. But time for the final question of the episode, and this one is an interesting one. If you're taking a crap and someone starts robbing your house, do you wipe before you go out to fight or check up? Or do you just go straight out and prepare to stop it?
I'm gonna hit it with the quickest, hardest wipe that I possibly can in a split second. You know, at this point, I've been wiping my behind for a good 28 years. I've got some experience. I think my time, it could be fast. I could move on some Barry Allen type speed. And then I would head in the direction I need to get out of the bathroom and head toward wherever the burglary is going down. You feel me? I got people to protect, but I want to do that without being compromised, if you know what I mean.
I mean, look, for the sake of the episode, I'm gonna also hit the fast wipe. Like, you gotta hit one or two real quick ones to make sure, and then you gotta go. But hear me out, y'all. There's a third option here that the person who asked this question did not put, and it's wiping your hands and then using that as weaponry against the robber. Now, I know that's crazy, but I feel like that could get stuff done.
Nah, you're wilding out. That's insane. They're shooting you. they're beating you behind. You have to turn your back to them while doing that. You're already compromised, bro.
You know what, bro? You're right, bro. But there are more options if you could think creatively. Now, to end off the episode, we're just going to cover some topic and ideas that some people want to see for the future of CUZZO-OP. We've got best soundtracks from TV and film, upcoming actors and actresses, the strikes and its impact on theaters. We kind of speak about the strikes a little bit, and we're definitely going to do a soundtrack episode at some point in the future, similar to our trailers episode. We've got a few here asking about the AI and our comfortability with AI in the entertainment industry as a whole. That's a great idea. That's very important. Thrillers, horrors, and Halloween is something that comes up here a few times, and just tune in. The end of October, we got something cooking for that, with a special guest included. Book to movie adaptations, that's a good one. We briefly discussed them before in like our love episode. I got a request here for the Mortal Kombat, and I think that the person who asked this and asked for this, I think maybe he should hop on as a special guest for that Mortal Kombat episode when Mortal Kombat 2 drops in theaters. We also got Spider-Man 2, people asking for that game episode, and you best believe that when me and IV sink our teeth into that game, we gonna be thinking about what we will be talking about, because that episode is 100% gonna happen. We got favorite TV show dramas. We got handheld systems and their contribution to video games. That's a good one. That'll be fun, especially with the person who asked it. Music and media and games. I feel like we cover that a lot, but we maybe that's a valid thing that we can get to in the future. Like I said earlier, soundtrack, that's going to be coming, so that'll be in there. Five Nights at Freddy's. That movie's coming out in October, and I think that the person who asked this question, he goes by the name of Oops. I think he should be a special guest on that episode. That'll be a fun one, but I'm going to keep that identity a little bit of a secret until then. The Boys and its upcoming season. I'm sure we'll get to talking about that if Isaiah can stomach the show. Another Mortal Kombat, and then a Saw movie. Maybe that'll be into that horror Halloween episode. And finally, we've got Dragon Ball Z, which we have to speak about, especially after our anime episode last week. But that's it for everything for this episode. Thank you to everyone who submitted questions. It made for a really fun time. Hopefully you guys know a little bit more about us. Hopefully you guys were hearing some of these and thinking about your own answers. And if you were, please share them down below. Third Q&A out of the way. We are excited for when we finally will be able to come back to this Q&A in 2024. But this has been a great time.
Tap in, y'all. There's so much more coming. Thank you so much for listening to another episode of CUZZO-OP. Make sure that you send these episodes out to people who you think would enjoy the commentary. Maybe you talk to a buddy about a movie, a TV show, or a game, and you guys were just sharing thoughts. Send this if it interests you to that buddy. We're trying to organically grow word of mouth. Like we said, we love to see other people interact with these different pieces of media. So thank you so much for joining and jumping into another episode of CUZZO-OP, where you'll always find two cousins, one podcast, endless entertainment. Till next time.